you'll never know the heartache of looking a grown man in the eye, and he asked, am I gonna make it? And you've got to lie. Well, they call me Doc, but I ain't got no degree. When shit hits the fan, they're calling for me. From bluegrass Kentucky, with red blood on my hands, nobody calls me hero except for my friends. Yeah, they call me Doc.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the 7th episode of Sick Call with Doc. There for you then, here for you now. I'm your host, Rod Doc Walbeck, United States Navy Corpsman veteran, and my co-host, Combat Army Medic, Joe Misfit Glenn.
What's up, y'all?
Today we got a really kick-ass show. There's a very special group of people, a part of the United States Navy, that do a lot of work behind the scenes. They're the second greatest rate in the Navy next to Corpsman. And I'd like to welcome to the show today, David Zuckerman, 3rd class petty officer builder, Seabees, United States Navy, and 0 a day. Welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you, Doc.
How are you, bro? How you doing?
I love the shirt, man.
Thank you. Thank you. You're I got some for you guys. They're going out here this week.
Hell yeah.
So I wish I could have had them here before, but you know, we had some delays with the post office and everything getting my stuff out. Yeah. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on.
It's right awesome. up our alley, brother. We set it from a different direction. 22 is too many.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And you took it from the bottom up. 0 a day. And that's what we're all here for, is to somehow, some way, someday get to 0 a day. And so having you on as a Seabee, United States Navy, it's a privilege to have you today, dude. Really, for sure.
Hell yeah.
So I got a Seabee story for all of our listeners and for you guys. So when you're on a ship in San Diego and you go out to do training stuff, you know, and our gunners mates from the ship get to practice shooting our weapons at San Clemente Island. And what was really cool is you get the big eyes up by the sonar bridge. You get those big, huge binoculars, you know. So I'd be up there watching San Clemente Island, and out there you could see these little tiny white squares all over the island, right? And so we're out there. We're gonna shoot fucking 5-inch bullets, dude. I mean, like they're 4 foot long. They're that big around, right? And we're gonna be shooting those at the little white huts. Those were little tiny little white huts that the Seabees would go there. I don't know how they got on the shore, but you know, just come right out, amphibious assault boats probably, and y'all with all your gear, and you build all these little huts, and then we use those huts for target practice. Those are the kind of things that Seabees do, and a great rate, because I love the Seabees, because if you get assigned to a Seabee detachment or battalion, as a corpsman, you will keep your skills up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
y'all don't make it easy on corpsman, yo. Next to our Marines, man, I don't know there's a greater love. I love my Seabees, man. You guys are great guys. And tell us your story, brother. What's going on?
All right. So where to begin here, guys? So we'll go back. I enlisted into the Navy at 19 years old. And pretty quick, to be honest, I had a lot of medical issues go on. As soon as I got to my first battalion in Virginia, we were actually doing some work there and doing some remodeling on a bathroom for the CO down on Fort Story. So we're down there for a couple days, been doing the demo. Everything's all good. One of the guys is working above us, and we're supposed to be putting a sister into the rafter, not take the rafter out. And the guy wasn't really paying attention and cut the rafter out, and actually got me right here. It took me down to the ground. I mean, it screwed me up pretty bad. So after that, I spent a lot of time dealing with medical, a lot of time getting rehabbed and physical therapy. Also had some knee issues and stuff go on. So then fast forward, I fought that for 5.5 years while I was still in, constantly going back and forth to medical. Never seen combat, never seen anything. Was in Okinawa for a little bit. Actually lived over there with my ex-wife. And then when I got back here, I was struggling. The booze had the best of me for a long time. And I was never, I dabbled with cannabis a little bit in high school, just like for the most part, every high schooler and stuff does, but it wasn't anything really big. And it was getting to the point I couldn't walk. I couldn't put my arms over my head while I'm working and stuff. And my buddies turned me on to actually start it off with some topicals. Nice. And I started using some of the topicals and started noticing relief. Started smoking a little bit and, eating a little bit of edibles and started knowing some more relief. But I was still in a dark place for a long time. Struggling to try to do things with the kids. I'm a single father. So struggling trying to do things with the kids. My daughter's 14, my son's 12. So their mom's no longer with us. She actually lost her battle with mental health. She was a veteran as well. And that's kind of between that and just the friends and getting online every day and seeing something. I mean, every day I see somebody post something about somebody who passed away, and it's got a hashtag 22 a day next to it.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's even a statistic is where 0 a day came from. That the fact that it doesn't matter if it's 15, 22, 7, what our number is, it's not acceptable until it's 0. And a lot of people don't realize, for vets, to try to get help. I spent a couple years trying to get help, and I finally found an amazing therapist that I connected with and I was able to talk to. And that definitely helped me out a whole lot. Yeah. Still have dark days.
Through the VA or civilian?
Through the VA, actually. So, and I had a couple therapists through the VA, and they were good people, but we weren't getting anywhere. I didn't connect with them like that. And then me and her connected, and I've made a lot of progress in the last year. Made a lot of progress. And, a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have people. So the point behind 0 a day, I also have a Facebook page going, and then I'm wanting to make a Facebook group so that way people can reach out to each other 24/7. I mean, as it gets bigger, brothers and sisters are going to hear about it. I'm not always going to be available. I know that. But if somebody needs to talk, if somebody needs this, the more word that we can spread out to people, the more people know about it, the more people that can be there.
Yeah.
So
right.
Trying to build a community to be able to support each other, because even though everybody's story is a little bit different, nobody else knows what we're going through. We all at least have an idea what everybody's going through.
Agreed.
So,
and I say it all the time, the best way to help people that are doing these kinds of things is to smash those buttons, like, share, forward, tell your buddies, tell your battles, tell your family, spread it around, and support the groups that are doing these kind of things for veterans. Because if it is to be, it is up to me. And that's what all veterans, especially ones that have less things to deal with, can help those who have more things to deal with. So
Amen.
sharing and helping. It's not just about podcast numbers. It's about reaching the veterans. And the only way to do that is through numbers.
For sure.
It's, because there's a number of us out there.
There's a bunch.
That's numbers, because there's a number of us, And so thank you for your zero a day, man. That is
man.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
Awesome thought.
And we all, and everybody has their civilian friends. I mean, and nothing wrong with the civilian guys, man. They're awesome. But they just don't understand some days. Those dark days, they just don't get it sometimes. Like they just kind of, why are you being a prick? Why are you being like that? And it's like, it goes deeper. So I've actually connected with more veterans in the last couple weeks too. And these guys are awesome. I mean, just you need somebody to talk to. And I've connected with a couple groups, and you just talking to these people and just talking stories and just going back and forth. It's just that camaraderie has been missing out of my life for the last 9.5 years. So.
Well, with the veterans communities, that's the place to find your camaraderie. I found it, and I know Rod has as well. Man, you have a pretty serious story. There was a couple things I wanted to touch on real quick. You were talking about your injuries, where that I assume it was a piece of wood or some kind of pile that hit you, right? I assume it broke something. Did it break your clavicle? Did it tear up some stuff?
I didn't break anything. I tore some stuff up, and now I have some arthritis in the neck.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly what their big terminology is, but pretty much I need to go to therapy all the time, but you can only be seen to go to therapy for about 6 weeks at a time.
Yes,
so it's one of those that it's taken so long that we get it almost under control, then therapy's done, and it just starts going right back.
I experienced that exactly when I was in the physical therapy for my neck. Now, it wasn't the typical physical therapy. It was deep tissue massage, which was the only thing that worked for my pains. I have a bunch of really messed up muscles and nerves and all that stuff. And along with bulging and stuff like that, in your spine. The first 3 weeks sucked. My body was in pain. I was hurting. But right after that, it was like a switch kicked off, and I was like in the best feeling position for like 2 weeks. And then the shit would end, and I couldn't call ahead of time and keep it going. They said, "Oh, you only get 6 weeks or whatever." And so I couldn't go through it anymore. I couldn't take the pain just to feel the relief for 2 weeks,
For sure.
So I stopped doing it, man. And that was why physical therapy didn't work for me.
Yeah, 2 more weeks is way too much to ask.
Right. That was where I was, man. But
I understand, VA. I understand. 2 weeks is way too much to ask after 10 years.
If you're total and permanent, you're not getting any better, man. Why don't you just keep the therapy going if it's helping? That was my go, at the VA, but they didn't share the same ideas.
For sure.
Yeah. A couple things, David. First off, if we haven't said it yet, thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for that. And and the other thing is, I am sorry for your loss of losing your children's mom. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you sharing that, because what people need to understand, our brothers and sisters, I know do, but everybody else who's watching, you don't have to go to combat to get in trouble medically or psychologically from the service, right? You don't have to. People have this thing, "Oh, you were in combat." Well, yeah, but this was pretty bad. People survive in a helicopter crash, but get all mangled up. You don't have to be in combat to be a veteran in trouble.
It's facts.
I want to make sure that point is clear to everybody. Even I have a little PTSD from some of the things that I had to see as a corpsman non-combat. The streets can be just as bad as in a combat thing. I've seen lots of bad stuff. So thank you for your service. I'm sorry for your loss. I commend you for stepping up and being the dad you need to be, right? And 0 a day, dude. And you're still thinking about your brothers and sisters, bro. You're a fine representation of the fucking United States Navy, and I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
That, Doc.
Yeah, man.
What a
So let me
stud.
ask you, did the DA try to fill you guys full of pills, you and your lady who passed? Did they try to fill you guys up with pills at first and handle it like that?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know she was on all kinds of medication. To go into what me, I mean, they've had me on medications for sleep. They've had me on medications for depression, anxiety. The one that does help me is I get one for muscle spasms. That one kind of helps out to take it as needed.
Mhm.
But besides that, I mean, there's not a whole lot that works. I mean, in the pills, just it goes down that road that nobody. One, for me, I already know I have an addictive personality. I struggle with alcoholism. So to try to take myself down to something else, it's like I just these addictive drugs. I mean, really, I don't even want to call it medication because they're just addictive drugs that has been built through the pharmaceutical industry. I'm just not a fan of that at all. And what really got me looking into, cannabis on stuff, because, I live in Ohio. We've been medically now for, I believe, 6 years. And I've had my card since pretty much it became legal. But when I started doing all the research on why are they keeping it black market and why is everything, that's when I really started opening my eyes and how bad these prescription drugs really are. I mean, not even just the addictive, what they do to your liver, what they do to your kidneys.
Mhm.
This medication leads to another medication. You didn't need that medication until you started taking that one for a year, and now it created another issue.
And don't forget that these are just the side effects. Don't forget about the long-term side effects. There are even more.
For sure.
Like, so that was what I ran into was I was on stuff for so long that it changed the game and like started to kill me, not just hurt me. It started killing me off. And that is why I had to quit my pills, man. And God bless that I was able to without any serious problems, it's a huge factor for me too. Anytime somebody talks about pills, anytime somebody talks about alcoholism, yep, that was me. And I assume it still is me because if I went back to it, I'd be the same dude. But I beat it, man. I fucking beat it. And you can too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that, Joe. That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And I still fight it. Don't get me wrong. I'm still fighting it, but I beat it. I know I did.
Every day. Every day we will have to wake up and fight that. But as
Yeah.
long as we keep making those right choices.
That's right. It's about making the right choices. Yes.
Think about this. If the pharmaceutical companies took the top 50 things, mental or physical, that affect most Americans, you're talking the cancers, the diabetes, think about it. The top 50 diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had a pill to fix those 50 things, a pill to fix those things, and they're all fixed, where do they make any money?
They don't.
So the pharmaceutical companies never cured any fucking thing ever. They're there to mask. They're there to postpone inevitable, right? They're there to make your life better for today by giving you a pill that begets another pill that begets another pill.
Right.
Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Oh, wait. Oh, I'm already way better. Oh, thank you.
For sure.
Can't do that. Can't do that, right? Oh, no. We can't trust you to know that what's best for you or what helps you in a day's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't trust you to know that. We're the pharmaceutical company.
Sure.
Right? And the politicians, getting that cash. Yeah, sure. Do whatever you want. Yeah.
Life is good, right? Yeah.
Look the other way, right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile
we
we're losing veterans.
Yeah.
Sure.
Meanwhile, so I get fired up, man.
Well, we got a bunch of leadership in the veteran community, so I have no doubt that we're going to overcome this shit.
For sure.
Well, I know that cannabis has severely diminished my alcohol intake.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a period of time, probably 10 years, 18 beers a day, almost a case of beer a day, 7 days a week. Some military stuff, some personal stuff, but cannabis has helped me wean down to just loving beer when I get to have some. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Totally different now, you know.
Yeah.
I don't drink to get drunk. I drink to taste the flavor of beer, and I keep it to a minimum. Where before it was looked like, man, when I was at my worst, I didn't know if I was ever going to come out of it. But cannabis certainly helped it diminish greatly. And for that alone, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
And like after like my first couple takes of using and everything too, cannabis, I became happy again. Like I noticed myself start laughing and smiling because everybody always see me as that serious guy, and like I can be serious, if it's business and if it's this, we have to be serious, but like I like to laugh and screw around. I don't want to be known as the serious guy. I want to be known as the fun guy, the fun dad. And but before that it wasn't. It was almost like I was just that prick, just literally in pain all the time, and just that prick.
Man, I remember this too. That was me as well. And people would always ask me, why don't you smile anymore? I'm like, what the fuck do I have to smile about? And I was serious. What the fuck do I have to smile about? I'm dying over here. My government's trying to kill me. I'm in pain. I'm still dealing with all my other psychological shit. Well, what's to smile? But I had to do some freaking soul searching, man. I have everything that I ever needed. I have my woman. No, I'm sorry for your loss, brother, but I have my woman and my kids. You have your kids. Rod has his stuff. I started thinking, internally, what am I thankful for? And that's what helped me through that, man. But the alcohol thing, like Rod was talking about, man, and you talk about, I was trying to escape. I tried to go anywhere but where I was at this moment. That was why I drank. When I would pick up my beer, it was to go somewhere else, not here, because this is too painful. Once I started getting over the fact that I didn't like how I felt in the morning, and I wasn't going to that happy place anymore, it just didn't serve the purpose that it once did. But cannabis picked that up, and other natural remedies too. So it was all good.
Yeah, and not to tip my hat on, I'm not bragging on this, but they say that cannabis is a gateway drug. Okay. How about you look at it from this angle? How many veterans, and I'll raise my hand first, have done all those other things, have been addicted to other things besides cannabis and or alcohol. Mm-hmm. And because of cannabis, this corpsman doesn't touch any of that other stuff anymore. Right. Years has gone by. All the other things besides cannabis and alcohol. Mm-hmm. I haven't done the H word, but I've done just about every other thing on the market, bro. And for long periods of time, trying to medicate myself, right. And running from my shit, it was a gateway back to myself again. So this gateway out to that stuff, no. I've never smoked a dude and went, oh, I can't wait to do a line of blow. Never once has my brain ever said that. Oh, let's go find some heroin because I smoked some weed today. Never once has that gone through my brain, not one time ever. Sure. But cannabis has led me back out of the darkness and back to myself. And it's been years from all that other crap. So that's the opposite of what they tried to pound in our brains through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and up till now almost, So, cannabis is a gateway. Yeah, right to your fridge.
Yeah. Or the bed. Yeah.
Or the bed. Hey, so
getting a good night's sleep.
Yes. Uh-huh.
We try to help other veterans by allowing them to advertise on here. So let's take a quick break and let's hear some veterans doing some cool ass stuff. What do you think?
All right.
Do it.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to Veteran Voice Radio, where we honor the brave and celebrate their stories through music. Tune in to two incredible stations, Ranger Rockwave and Simplified Country. On Ranger Rockwave, experience the raw energy of alternative rock featuring talented musicians who are veterans and military family members. Their powerful stories and unforgettable tunes will inspire you and keep you rocking. Switch over to Simplify Country, where the heart of country music meets the spirit of service. Enjoy heartfelt ballads and toe-tapping tunes from veterans and their families sharing their journey through song. Join a community that honors those who serve. Veteran Voice Radio, music with a mission. Discover Ranger Rockwave and Simplify Country at veteranvoiceradio.com, or you can also download the app on Apple or Google and let the stories of our heroes resonate through your speakers.
And we're back.
We're back.
Except for David. Is he with us?
Where'd he go?
Hey, brother. Jump out, jump back in.
Jump on. Let's get it. Rod, all this stuff really brought up some pretty deep emotions for me as far when we were talking about therapists and stuff. It took me forever to find a therapist that seemed like she gave a shit. And that was the thing, man.
Or had the ability to help turn things for you.
Right. I'd go in and I'd talk to, say, just a, regular old therapist. And when they'd ask you certain questions and you start telling them your truths, when they started looking in different directions or like acted like they just didn't quite understand, and you can feel that, that was what I would notice from these people. And I knew right there I wasn't going anywhere, and I didn't want to share it anymore, because I wasn't going to be going through the pain if it wasn't going to get healed. But once I found my one therapist, the one that got me into these programs, that got me squared away, at least thinking better, dude, it was leaps and bounds, man. It was hard though. Don't get me wrong, man. I had to put in work to heal. It wasn't like it just happened, but
forgive me. I had to take a puff, man. I get so freaking excited or so wound up when it comes to how the VA does us.
Me too, man. Me too.
It gets me
personal.
Man.
It's personal now, because they did it to us. What's up, David?
What's up? I had some technical difficulties for a minute coming back out, but we're all good.
Oh yeah.
That's that Ohio shit. You guys got no Wi-Fi down there.
For sure. Everything's real slow down here.
I can't wait to welcome you guys to the Union soon. That'd be great.
Right. Come on in.
I gotta give you some shit since I'm from Michigan, bro. Are you a Buckeye fan?
Oh, of course I'm a Buckeye fan.
Get out of here, dog. I can't even believe I brought you on. No.
Where are we going? You blue or green fan? Which way are you about to go here?
Oh, I'm green. I'm green and white, brother.
Okay.
I'm a Spartan.
Okay.
Back when I was a kid, we used to get demolished by them all the time. By Michigan, right? Michigan and Ohio State used to just pound us galore, and so they were the underdog all the time.
Yep.
And you gotta remember, Rocky 1 came out when I was 13 years old.
Okay.
So, I've always been one to root for the underdog, and Michigan State's always been that team against Michigan and Ohio State. So,
okay.
So, what should we talk about next? We've got time, and the floor is ours. We've talked about the VA and how they filled you guys full of pills, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
We talked about becoming a Seabee. So, what was it like? That's a good question. What was it like as a Seabee with other Seabees? Was it just like a construction site on a job? Because I've worked construction sites and ruthless on each other. Ruthless,
Pretty much that's what it was. It really was, and it was old. It's old school. And people are like, what do you mean by that? Like, because I was in as the military was slowly. I got out in 2015, so everything was slowly starting to transition and starting to change into a softer military. So, but the Seabees were just different. Like even the ones that came there that were on the softer side, they learned really quick, or they didn't last. It
Yeah.
just didn't. I mean, like literally, if you guys had a disagreement, it'd be nothing for you and your brother to literally fist fight right on the job site and then go right back to it. And that night,
Mhm.
you're going to getting beers like nothing even happened. You're sitting there, both you got black eyes, and you're like, "What happened? Well, he pissed me off earlier, man." Like, wait, you guys are sitting here together now? Like, yeah. Like, I mean,
Why
it is
not?
what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's
Yeah,
not
the
like
good old days.
leave, you know. Where are we supposed to go?
You know, it's funny that you said that, because like in my time, you know, what was it, 93 to 05, I heard stories about the guys getting out when I came in saying that, oh, it's just getting softer. And so over the years, it just continually kept getting softer, man. That was how I was, you know, raised up in the infantry. Was if you had a problem, go out to the wood line and take care of your shit and come back and get your job done. That was how we operated. And then once I got up into the medical side, that was no longer the thing. It's we need to talk it out, right? So, you know, I didn't have a good time talking it out with those folks too easy.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I did it though, so I was able to adapt.
Yeah. I remember working in hospitals. That corpsmen working at hospitals don't have the same type of camaraderie as corpsmen that are on a ship, or corpsmen that are with the Marines, you know, or corpsmen that detached someplace else. The camaraderie got a lot tighter out when you're sacrificing versus when you're sitting back at home. It was actually more in peacetime. It was actually more competition than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
Everybody's fighting for the next pay grade. You know, because the advancements aren't that quick. You know, in peacetime. So you mentioned losing camaraderie. I went 25 years not figuring that piece out. I don't know why it wouldn't be so easy to think of. Yeah, I missed the service, and I thought that was it. That wasn't it.
Mm-mm.
I missed the camaraderie. I miss being called Doc. I miss being respected like that.
Yeah,
you know, because it comes your way. Respect comes your way as a Army medic, a Coast Guard corpsman, Navy corpsman, doesn't matter. Any branch that has a medical side, you're always respected because you're in the thick of it with everybody else a lot, you know.
Yep.
And when you're in the Philippines and you come back to the ship and things are messed up, you really need corpsmen to fix you.
I mean, you always had to look out for Doc. I spent plenty of Sundays watching football games with IVs getting hydrated up so I'd be good to go Monday morning. Like you always had to be good with Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Doc was always a good date, you know.
You take care of you.
You feed him his beers, and when we get into our fights, he'll be there to patch us up.
Mm-hmm.
And because I wasn't going to fight. That ain't no way. You guys can do all that. That's for young guys. So let's switch gears. Seabees in the Navy, for anybody who doesn't know, they can be builders, carpenters, electricians, plumbers. What other things they got? Well diggers. I mean, like all kinds of stuff, right?
You got welders, equipment operators, excavators. You got surveyors. Literally anything that's on a job site. I mean, plumbers, electricians, and everything. You get to learn how to do it all, you know, with no power tools. So it's great. Like you get to learn the old school way of everything. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. It really was. Like, I mean, a lot of fun. Like one of my biggest things we did some grenade pits down for the Marines. And so we built these for these guys. And so after everything's all done, we go back a couple days later, and it was all the infantry guys. And they're like, so you guys want to test them out? I said, test what out? They said, these grenade pits, we throw live grenades next to them and they lean up next to the build and they lean up against the block. I'm like, Nah, I built that, man. No. I'm okay. You guys don't need to throw no grenades and lean up against the wall to try to make sure anything. Like, no, thank you. Like, I watch you guys do that from a distance. Like,
Yeah, you high? You guys high?
yeah, I'm not. No.
That's funny. Love the grenade day, man. That was really fun. I loved tossing grenades, man.
Yeah.
That was always a good time, man. Oh yeah, people screw up though really bad, and you get to throw them around. You know, if you were leading the stuff, if you were cadre,
Okay.
Yeah. All the privates would end up throwing stuff and the wrong stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I loved when I was in Iceland, being the leading petty officer of the emergency room. Assignments would come in for us to do stuff around the base. We go help these guys or help those guys. Well, when the Marines would go to the range, they had to have a corpsman. Right? I always volunteered in August because September was the new rounds coming in. You had to burn all your rounds to get more rounds.
Right.
Right. So they'd show up in August to get rid of all their stuff before September 1st. Pallets of ammo, bro. Pallets of ammo. And I got qualified Marine Corps style pistol and rifle because of it. And man, I got so many things. I don't remember the names of them, what calibers they were. And I did some 50 cal stuff. That was crazy. It's just like pump. It's just nuts. But that was really fun. Be a part of that. Hang out with the Marine Corps at the range on ammo dump day. Great fun. From shotguns to whatever. I mean, all different handguns. It was awesome. And I see the Seabees kind of the same way as I do Marines, man. Just nothing but mad respect for our Seabees. And they've been in all the wars for forever and ever, like corpsmen have. When's your all's birthday? Do you know how many years you guys have been Seabees?
It was right.
Brian, can Brian or I find it faster? Ready, go. When did the Seabees?
I got to do the pre-marksmanship instruction. I was the instructor for the M9 for all the leadership, you know, sergeant major, battalion commander, all that stuff. And so I would teach them how to shoot. Well, they would get really angry with me because, well, I would treat them like I would treat my infantry brothers. And so I'd make them break everything down. I would make them clean it. I would make them put it back together, and then they would go qualify with their weapon. And so, but even though they gave me shit at the time, you know, because they outranked me, they still did it, and they appreciated it at the end because now they knew a little bit more. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
So what you got, Doc?
Yeah, I got some official Seabee stuff here. With roots dating back to World War II, the Seabees were formally established on March 5th, 1942, to meet the Navy's growing need to build bases, camps, and other structures as part of the war effort. In the over 7 decades since its founding, Seabees have gone on to serve in most major U.S. conflicts. And 9 things you should know about Seabees.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Do we do these, bro?
Let's do it.
The Seabee motto is Constructimus Batumus. Did you know that?
Batumus. Did not.
The Latin phrase, which means we build, we fight. What? Right. That's badass, dude. It was the brainchild of a Rear Admiral Ben Morial, who is considered the father of the Seabees.
So it's actually, there's the Seabee base in Okinawa is named after.
Oh, after Morial?
Mm-hmm.
Moreel, Morial, I guess. The nickname Seabee comes from the first letters of the words that make up the unit's formal name, Construction Battalion. True to their motto, Seabees can build just about anything, anywhere.
Ooh.
Number 4, the Seabees have 1 Medal of Honor recipient, Marvin G. Shields, 1965, Vietnam War. Seabees used to celebrate the battalion's birthday with a Seabee ball that featured a Seabee queen. Is that you, David? Is that you?
Yeah.
Nope, never got that one.
Damn.
Sitting there with a pipe wrench, ready to go.
They didn't want to see me in no dress.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
No shit.
Seabee units were some of the first fully integrated units in the Navy at the end of World War II. Seabees helped build some of the first structures at the South Pole.
Nice.
There is a Seabees Memorial. I actually recommend everybody check it out. Looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And number 9, you can spot Seabees by looking closely at their uniforms or scars. I made that part up.
So what's the insignia? We got a picture of the insignia for a Seabee.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
I mean, how do you tell in uniform?
I say it's a little patch, and it's got a B with holding his rifle, and it'll be right underneath your U.S. Navy.
Okay, that sounds cool.
It's actually kick ass.
Oh hell yeah!
There it is. There it is. That's a hypodermic needle. That's a Corman patch. Okay.
Always throwing needles in there, Doc.
Oh, that's a gun. I'm sorry. Yeah.
A little bit more steel to it, brother.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, dude, so you were talking about it, David. You were talking about topicals. Is that what you still use, or do you go to flour? What do you use?
I mean, I'll use some flour and some edibles, but a topical is my go-to. I use it every day, twice a day.
Wow, nice.
I put it on my shoulder and my knee in the morning and before bed.
Now, a quick question with the topicals: do you know if they're like a full plant, or are they like just THC derived? You know, is it the full spectrum plant?
So actually, the one that I have. So I was using ones that were full spectrum for a long time, and it was almost like a Vaseline, and I wasn't a big fan of like how it felt.
Gotcha.
Once I put it on. So actually, I found one that is RSO. It's made with RSO now.
Okay.
And it's almost like more like a shea butter, and that's my go-to.
Right.
And I've been actually trying to play with and figure out how to almost make my own because of how much I use it. So to see if I can get something, you know, even just similar to try to see how it comes out. Because even just RSO in general. Like if I'm in a lot of pain, I'll just eat some RSO. RSO is my go-to. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Rick Simpson did something amazing when he came up with that. So
under your tongue, drips under your tongue.
Yeah. Now for me, when I take edibles or RSO, anything that I ingest, that's for my whole body. When my body's hurting, I go with the edibles. But like when my mind is hurting, or my shoulders or whatever, my neck may be a little bit tense, then I'll go with flour. That's how I do that. There's other things, you know, like if you want to go with dabs or hash or something like that for a little bit more of a kick in the pants, if you know what I mean.
For sure. So I normally don't mess with the dabs too much because
I don't either.
They almost hurt every time. Like I feel they hurt.
Yeah, they'll burn your throat almost, huh? Yeah. But I do like the hash, man. The hash is it's a full plant extract, you know, basically like the FICO, you know. I mean, I take the whole plant and I wash it really good, so you get damn near everything from it, and it does a really good job.
All right.
And it's more pure, actually, now that I think about it, because you're just taking the trichomes off of the plant. But
and I'll bet you veterans who are coming on to our show and watching who've never used cannabis before, and I found that's most veterans. It's a last resort. It turns out to be the best resort. You know what I mean? So for our brothers and sisters that are listening. And you've never tried those things before, I bet you didn't know that there's a lotion, there's a tincture, there's something out there at the dispensaries that you can get, or through a caregiver program that you can get those things to help ease arthritis pain and things like that. So muscle cramps, I heard it works great for cramps.
Yeah.
So I urge veterans who've never used cannabis or think it's such taboo, do your research, study, take a look at how cannabinoids, terpenes, how they affect your endocannabinoid system, and how they can help you in so many ways. And you don't have to be a stoner to use cannabis, to help you medically. Right.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm still in the works trying to figure out the whole topical thing myself. I mean, I can make dang near any of the other products that cannabis is related to, but topicals I haven't gotten into. My idea for the good skin feel, because you were mentioning skin feel, I was considering like lanolin. You can buy lanolin. And so we know that the cannabinoids attached to fatty molecules, okay? Not water, but fat. And so if I can get, check to see how much fat is in lanolin, we can infuse that. My mother, when she had cancer and went through chemo, she had used lanolin to rub on her skin instead of getting burned, and it kept her from getting burned. Now, if we can add cannabis to that, I know it can help somebody with cancer that's going through chemo even more.
Yeah, and we know that there's veterans out there taking baths in Bengay.
Yeah.
Imagine what's in that stuff. It came from a pharmaceutical company. We're talking about a plant-derived lotion, a plant-derived, mixed cannabis stuff mixed with aloe and things like that to rub into your joints and your muscles and stuff that are ailing and hurting. So definitely check it out. My wife uses it on her knees. We sometimes get because of her arthritis so bad, it reduces. Cannabis can in a lotion can actually reduce inflammation. Inflammation is what usually causes the pain, because you got all that swelling going on in that joint, and it's pushing up against everything and making a mess in there. And that's what causes a lot of the pain, not the specific injury, just the swelling. And I've seen people reduce the swelling, which reduces the pain.
Right.
And it's not a pill. I mean, Motrin is what used to be my go-to. Motrin, you're allowed 100 milligrams an hour while awake in a day's time. So if you're up for 16 hours, you can take 1,600 milligrams of Motrin. And I know people that just pour them in.
Candy.
Not even close to the recommended dosage. So if the bad boys of the pharmaceutical world are telling you only do 100 an hour while awake, and you're doing 4 times that, you're going against. Trust me, if they could, they'd tell you to take handfuls a day, burn them up and buy more. They want you to use a ton of it. So when they tell you don't use more than this, you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. If they tell you not to use it more than that, then you should listen to that one.
They're like, hey. So how about use a lotion with cannabis in it, CBD in there.
And I wanted to talk to the audience and to you, David, too. I'm not sure if you're aware, but why the lotions and the stuff that we rub on our skin help us and affect us is because we have an endocannabinoid system. Our whole body has this. It's on our skin. It's in our body. It's everywhere. That is how we are able to pick up these cannabinoids that we get through cannabis. So fun fact for you, our bodies are made for cannabis, people. It can't get any clearer it's got to be clear to everybody that cannabis is not the thing that's hurting you. It's not, and so, I mean, just your body's made for it. That just proves it on itself, but anyway, thought I'd share that with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, our bodies are made for it.
I mean, so that makes a lot of sense. I say, because that's my, real, like I said, in real pain, like can't move. That's the go-to. Yeah. And getting up every day is rough, man. The shoulders, that's the worst part, is the shoulder.
Well, that's me, man. I'm beat up every morning. So, I got my heating pad. I throw that heating pad on and loosen my body up. I'm going to be starting to incorporate stretching, like legitimate 15 to 20 minute stretching regimens. And I think that can help me out too. If I could just get my lazy butt to go do it. Yeah.
So help me understand a little bit, Joe. So if I have an endocannabinoid system, then there's supposed to be certain levels of those cannabinoids inside you, correct? For regulating bodily functions, right?
Right.
All right. So
and
if people
go ahead, Rod. I'm sorry.
If people could be deficient in those, correct?
Absolutely. Sure.
And so when you find the right cannabinoid that you're deficient in, doesn't that create more wellness?
The synergy, right? It brings up the synergy portion of our bodies, right? Because everything has to work in synergistically to make us feel right.
So and your immune system gets stronger and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and don't forget, y'all, the food that we eat, right, has cannabinoids in it and terpenes in it and flavonoids, limonene, right? That's where limonene comes from, which is a cannabinoid in cannabis, right? In most cannabis, or it has its place, but just like myrcene and carotenoids and the pinenes. Pinene, it's from the pine tree. It's that smell, right? Myrcene has that sweet basil and a bunch of other things. We can go for days about these cannabinoids. Hell, I don't even know a quarter of what's existing for these cannabinoids, but I do know that our bodies are made for them, and it's every part of our body. You rub some of that stuff on your finger, you're gonna feel it. You should feel it. It should feel better. Maybe even move a little bit smoother. Whether it takes the pain away, it's not going to be about the pain. It's going to be about the inflammation, like you said, Rod. There's a lot of these cannabinoids that are anti-inflammatory, like most of them have an anti-inflammatory property in it. You get rid of the inflammation, you have a little bit less pain. Some are
antibacterial, some are antifungal, some are
antiviral. Yes, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And if getting your cannabinoid system back on track, imagine how much better you'll feel and your immune system stronger. And it's awesome. It really is.
And another thing, what it's starting to look like to me is that each individual cannabinoid system, yours, David, yours, Rod, mine, it's like a fingerprint. We're all different. We all absorb what we want, what our body desires, and maybe some other things we don't absorb. And so for me, a topical may not take away all of my tension or arthritis pain or whatever, but for David, it's the ticket. I might have to do a little bit of a rub and have a little bit of an edible to gain my thing, but we just got to figure out your own style, your own thing.
So you got to do your research is all.
Yeah, that's it.
Some of that's going to be trial and error.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun having the screw ups because it's just a good feeling all around anyway. So you can't go wrong with it, man. In my opinion.
Yeah. When we're talking about cannabinoids, we're not talking about like the other side of it, the alcohol. This is not
right. No.
This is not between Jim Beam and Jack Daniels.
No,
it's not.
This is all natural.
The best of the worst, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that. So Brian's saying something about munchies.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? Munchies.
That's it.
But I say that because I caution people. There are strains out there that have been found to create anxiety in people who have anxiety. So I don't talk about it loosely, like just go a wild west and start trying everything under the sun. I say do some research, talk to people who've done it, what they use that helps them for them. If that matches what you have wrong with you, then you can make a more educated guess and take it slowly, one baby step at a time. Yeah, you'll find your way. You will find your way.
And if I had any input on that, because that's spot on, Doc, the idea is about how much. It's about moderating yourself. Take it slow, take a little bit and see if that particular medicine is good for you. If it's not, try another one, man, right? Don't even waste your time. But if you don't get a good feeling off of taking just a little bit of that said strain, then it's not for you. No need to go get all tripped out and have a panic attack and stuff because you're thinking something's wrong, because people can do that too.
For sure.
And remember that CBD is different than THC, and do your research.
And CBD can counteract the THC psychosis thing, because it's all psychoactive. THC is, right? And so if you go in saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to get really high," and get scared, you're going to have a hell of a trip. You're not going to feel good when you're high. or when you're medicating or anything like that. But if you go in there saying, yes, this is medicine, I'm safe, I'm happy, it's going to be a good feeling. But moderation in your dosage to start until you find your happy medium.
Yeah, Dave, Brian is saying it leads to munchies and long ass naps.
Yeah. Yeah. I love my naps, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Be more well rested.
I like my rest. Yeah, that's where I go. I don't ever really go to sleep. I just rest around a little bit,
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Hey guys, I think it's been a great show, David. I thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you guys for having me. I really do.
Hell yeah.
And
Zero a day, brother.
For our brothers and sisters that are listening, support David in his 0 a day campaign.
Yep.
I'm sure it's all going to go to a good cause, and it's right up our alley with eradicating veteran suicide. We all got to do this together. We're just a vehicle today, guys. We're just a vehicle, and we need it. We need all of our brothers and sisters to stand up and decide 0's enough, or 22's enough. Done. We're done with this.
Yeah, we're done with that shit.
We're done with this stuff. All right. Well, man, thank you all for joining us. David, thank you again for your service. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for having the courage, brother. I really do appreciate it. And there's more to it than just t-shirts and lotions, brother.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It was a pleasure meeting you, David, and sharing your story with us, man. And I'm going to come check you out, man, because I'm right there with you 0 a day, man.
All right, y'all. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining us, man. Sick Call with Doc.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.